So I'd like to introduce Christy Williamson for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin, and thanks to the Sikorsky Polish Club and to all of you for turning up tonight. I think it's going to be a very, very I think we're going to hear a lot of very good poetry. I'm going to start by reading a poem by Pablo Neruda, and he was. I've tried to address the themes of exile and loss, and hope, I suppose, as well. And Pablo Neruda, when he wrote this, he'd been exiled from his native Chile, and he was living in Spain. And then, when the Spanish Civil War happened, he was exiled from Spain. I'm not sure where he went. I think he went to Argentina. But anyway, it's called 20 Things Made It. Dulacs, and where is the lilacs? I'll tell thee few things is. I used to bide in Madrid. They called my house the house with the flowers. It exploded geraniums. Mind it, Federico, down yonder and under the ground. My brother, oh my brother. The voices was generous. Oil swam in spuns. The vive spirit of life. Dan day bonfires sprouted for the ground. Fidane, ony fire, ony gunpowder, ony blood. Come see the blood of the streets. Black friars and brigands signed with a cross. Come see the blood of the streets, out of dead houses, its metal it blazes. Come see the blood of the streets. For thy crime bullets is born, at day I'll strike for the mark of thy heart. The next poem is another translation. This poem was by a poet called Adnan Al-Sai, who was, and I've included it tonight because he is Iranian. He was exiled from I don't know if he's actually from Tehran, but he was exiled from Iran maybe 40 years after Martin's grandmother made it to Persia, so I kind of wanted to bring that in. Anyway, it's called Gyanawa. The oob of the train lichts tunnels of dull, howland and rails o' endless mindings, as I'm nailed to the windick, wi' half of me heart, and the other upon the table, playing brag wi' a lass wha's thighs is naked wi' shock and pain. Shut axes, what why me fingers is crumbling like the wed o' auld coffins, and in a script like the fairt of slipping Athen. I tell her about home, and the banners, and the press gangs, and the glory of the nation, and the tooping in the pierside bogs, Dancer lanes wi' her wheat hair o'er me tears, and doesna understand, while at the other corner Mozart scatters his tunes o'er sna-filled valleys. My home is mair dull as it maun, and my sang is coarse, unbiddable and blate. I'll street shoot upon the first pavement of the continent, and hold me legs up for passers-by, to shadow me feet, bruised for the skull and for prisons, the ains that got me here. What I carry in me pock is nae passport, but a history o' oppression, where for half a century we showed hay, and speeches and hand-made fags, as we stand afore gallows, watching our ain hanging corpses, clapping the rulers out of fear for our families, whilst files live and under the secret service building, where home starts with a laird speech and ends with a laird speech, and in atween is the laird streets, the laird sangs, the laird's museums, the laird's presents, the laird's trees, the laird's factories, the laird's peppers, the laird's stable, the laird's cloods, the laird's butt camps, the laird's statues, the laird's bakeries, the laird's medals, the laird's fancy women, the laird's skulls, the laird's ferms, the laird's wider, the laird's orders. She'll gawk a start at my ain, weet wi rain and spit, and she'll ax, where's Doofy? And now, this is a poem about my own self-imposed exile, and I'll also be buying a hi-fi and listening to Willie Hunter. I don't know if any of you will be familiar with him at all, but he did massive amounts for Shetland fiddling and collected a lot of tunes and was a brilliant player. And one of his most famous compositions is called Leavin' Lerret Carver, which is mentioned in here. So it's called The Wonders of Technology. Sandstrom hit Casset Cell. They'd think it bigot for hard danger fiddle and gamble dance, but first glance through the graphic equaliser presets, the power do his, comes up with nae fork. Good old rock it is, it lets Willie's strings ring through, unlocks the keys at Violet's fingers purling, tethering tunes to pure and perfect, time after time. I left Lerret Carver, that lang fae sign. I maun fin me way back through the South Moo to mind the lie of the hills atween Twagios and the Nordness. But the swell of the knots squeezed the sat spray of the starnward stare at me een, as I rolled the volume skyward, filled this unken air with music fae ayont the waves, lay a deep old anchor for me new hi-fi. And this next poem is called Git, which is a word for a track. And it's a bit, it was inspired by putting my son's shoes away in the drawer when he should have been going to sleep. I think he did eventually. Anyway, this is Git. As doors opened, the blinds come down about another day, or putting fit afore another, taking mere steps forward as backlands, and getting up as often as do fars. The end means nothing without what's gain, and shutting thy shun awa at the drawer doesn't mean they'll end their days there, ony mair as where we went to, and where we made for, is aye the same place. It's where you aim at makes a man, and fu you win. Where we end up is neither here nor there. And a lighter one called Truth. The answer phone's called unblinking licht accuses me of the crime it darena speak its name. Look at thee, it seems to say, for I gallivanting, I running around and thinking and ranting and belling thee sell at life, does come home our lit, and whatever do says, this truth can never be erased. Do his nae new messages. And another poem about parenthood. This time, as it was written as a gift to a friend of mine who'd had their first child 2 years after I had mine, and having that distance and having some sort of, I don't know if I was trying to offer him any advice but it was quite profound. Anyway, guide. Imagine fan he'd cry into a world they can't nothing know. Thy ain glendering to mak wit of ships and colours that shone like stars the lift had never seen. Do'd perish without a guide to show thee the goodness of life and keep thee frae its ills. Do'd drown without a pair of arms to keep thee afloat and seas do'd nae notion fu to navigate. Do disappear without a hurt, to keep the time they needs to find thy way, to find thy feet. Du is that anchor, holding strong in the storm. Du is the most important person to thy most important person. Dus as precious as the day it shone upon her coming into the world. Keep the fires in, be the good that needs thy bairn to see. I've got 3 more, and I'm passing the baton on. This next poem is called Windswept. I wrote this in a response to the story that Matt was going to be telling so eloquently later on today, and I felt like I had to make some kind of response to what this evening was all about. So it's called Windswept. The harder the wind, the rain, the night, the airmaids, the secret services, the guards and the cattle trucks pushed and pulled her into the margins, the borders, the darkest corners of life. The tichter she grip it had, o a she hide, the northern, eastern, southern air, the breath o' being, the greatest gain she'd never lost, till she was ready, and the hands that pushed and pulled blew her being out of where had hailed fae was tethered and couldna touch her ony mair. Then she was ready to pass on the breath she'd kept through a' her days to a mouth that would tell her story, that would keep it alive. And this penultimate poem I've also included in Martin's honour. If I was to introduce somebody to Martin, it would probably have to be a milliner, because he's got so he does so many. Over the years I've gone to various meetings and he talks about the various things that he's involved in. I'm not quite sure how he manages to do it, but one of those things was the Scottish Green Party. I don't know if you're still doing that or not, but
Sadly, yes.
This is called Workshop Poem. Another poem about the mun, screeved upon the back of the Sharon Olds poem about her feyther snoring. The Aldings is the best. The simplest rules tax the langest to learn. Abody is their part to play, their one step to tack at a time. Rules is rules for a reason. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And that was kind of a poem about that was kind of applying that guidance for general life to a writing perspective. And this last poem was inspired by, I think it was John Updike that said, if you're going to do anything, then you're going to have to try to do something. If you try, then you're going to fail. So if you try and fail, then you don't worry about it, but you try again. And you fail again, but you feel better. And that's what you said about writing. I think you can apply it to life. And this is my last poem, and it's for my daughter, because I read the poem about my son, so I need to keep the balance. The only way. Standing by the bedroom door, my fingers in thy hands, I'd had on as long as I was able, let thee take step after step toward a retreating me, reap thy penguin gaff. But I ken, like the laverick, do maun be slippet afore do flee, and if do fa's upon thy backside, there nae odds atween me and thee, failing as well as we can, wi' every step we take. Thanks very much.